Are we allowing swearing, or do you guys keep this non-swearing?
You be yourself 100%. We don't have any restrictions.
Okay.
So you know,
Go ahead.
you keep it to the not going to kick anyone off air or get you guys doxxed or something like that. So
No. I was just making sure if I dropped the random, that fucking sucked thing, you weren't gonna be like, whoa there, man.
Nope, not at all.
I constantly have like
show. Come on.
the C word on my filter, like stuck there. Like, don't say that one.
I love
Well,
chocolate.
I do anyway. Yeah,
Chocolate. Naturally.
you fucking chocolate. You
Fucking
coconut
Coconut.
cabana.
Wow,
See,
Cabana.
that means he doesn't like almond joys then, if that's the case.
He's right.
That's
that's actually true.
You conch.
You
I like almond
conch.
joys.
That's offensive, actually.
Well, hey everyone, welcome to episode 89 of VR Verdict,
Hello.
our weekly podcast where we talk about everything VR. I'm PJ,
I'm Wookie.
and we'd
I'm
like to share
Travis.
VR with you.
Travis.
We always do that to the guests.
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
wait
the
so
friend-
long.
you saw-
You
I
give
saw
a
the
natural
hands-
We
pause
missed the
there.
cue.
Like,
We missed the cue. Yeah.
That's all right.
I saw the hand stick out, and I was like, "Uh-oh, is he really okay?"
I was just making hand signals. I guess we could do like
That's what it
semaphors
does.
over here and be like,
Right.
this means
Like it.
forward. That means you and
But for those
to make up
listening,
a hand sign. Sorry.
we're here talking to Johnny J and Travis from Weird Kid Studios, working on their game
Yeah.
Galactic Bar Fight. How's it going, gentlemen?
Pretty
Great,
good.
very
Thank you
good.
for
Thank you.
having us. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not to pick on your timing again, but you put a long pause with the F noise. You're like bar fight, like Galactic Bar Fight. That just made me laugh.
It's been a long day. I was shifting gears.
Sounds like a puke roll. Oh, that's made a pure bar fight.
Oh man. Maybe that's like
For
a
those-
skill we could.
We
barf
do
skill.
have
Yeah.
you have a bathroom in one of the levels, and if you're drinking too much, maybe we'll have you
Yeah.
to run over there.
Mm-hmm.
For the audio listeners, we are live in VR via the Spatial Ape app. If you ever want to join us, check us out on Twitter and get that information. But you can join our live audience and join the conversation. But yeah,
It's
so
Thursdays at 8 Eastern. Central doesn't matter.
I'm the only person in Central in VR.
Well, I was gonna say that'd be. Oh no, actually, I'm Mountain, so I'm just before you though. But I am from Central, from Minnesota originally. So I know your struggles.
Nice. So your game, Galactic Bar Fight.
Yep.
And you guys have been working on it for a while now. Johnny's a regular on our Dev Roundtable podcast, so we talking.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah,
long
that's-
exactly have you guys been working on that?
So
What does that mean?
So I've been working on it for about 2 years altogether. I think it was Oculus Connect 5. I went to like John Carmack's app review, and I was like, oh man, I want to make a game that John Carmack reviews, and that kind of triggered my whole desire to want to make a game. I was working on it for a while solo, and then I got stuck on a AI bug, and it was like really tough. And then I think maybe that was the year before. Then I went to Oculus Connect 5. Well, no, I got invited to the Oculus Launchpad program. There we go. So that renewed my interest, worked on it for Oculus Launchpad. I really wanted to get the grant. The demo that's available on the App Lab, that's the demo I made for Oculus Launchpad. And I was really confident. I felt really good, like, oh man, maybe they'll fund this. And like right after I submitted it, I was like, oh shit. I cannot make a whole game by myself. And I was like, who would possibly help me make a game? And that's when I was like, oh, Travis. Travis and me and Travis have worked together. We went to college together and worked on quite a few games. But that's when Travis joined. So that was like 5 months ago.
Yeah. I think I've been on the project now about 5-6 months at this point. And yeah, when John brought the demo to me that he'd been working on, we kind of came to an agreement. We're like, let's tear this whole thing down and start from scratch. So
right.
yeah, it's pretty much been going on five months now. So
Yeah.
So, what's your first thought when you hear that? Like, this thing you've been working on for 2 years, let's just wreck it. Start over.
Well, it wasn't his idea. Like, I think we joined together, and I was like, oh, Travis, you want to help me on this thing? And we talked about what we wanted the project to be. And then, like, I was looking at the reviews and comments that were showing up on App Lab, and I was like, I don't think this is the foundation we need to make this what I want it to be. And so I approached Travis, and he was like, yes, God, yes, please, let's get rid of it, please. And then I think that was the right choice, because I think it allowed us to rebuild the weapon system. I think it allowed us to make different environments. It just allowed us to kind of rebuild the game up from the ground up the right way, because I think a lot of what I was doing at the beginning was just kind of learning how to work in VR, and I feel a lot better about that now.
Yeah. When he brought me on, it was one of those things when he shared the project, you just get spammed with errors, you know, and I kind of sat there, and it was because of all the plugins and all the experimentation. And like John said, since there was so much experimentation that he was doing, a lot of that could have been stripped out. And sure enough, that's kind of where we came to the agreement when he's like, let's break it down and go back to the scratch. And then he put in only what was needed, all the VR elements in that sense. And so it cleared out all the errors. We weren't being spammed with thousands of errors. And it allowed us to work with the framework that we needed, rather than this, put it lightly, kind of bloated thing that John had as more of a, what would you say, prototype in a way. So
yeah, like a prototype, tech demo type thing. Yeah.
It happens too when you start like a new Unity project and you're just goofing around, and then you get something working, and you're like, wait, what all of this can I throw out?
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Yeah, like, what?
So was your original like idea kind of what this has turned into, or was it quite different? Like, where did the bar fight come into play?
Right. So the whole concept, my friend Chris Coward, he's a really awesome 3D artist. He had this like rendering of like a sci-fi diner, and I thought it looked really cool. And when I saw it, the first thing I thought was like, I want to shoot somebody there. And another one of my friends said that's the most American shit I've ever heard, and I think that's true. So that was the initial concept. I just kind of wanted to do like a shooting gallery. I really loved like Smash TV, Serious Sam. I love like those old school kind of like chaotic like action games, and so like that was kind of the game I wanted to make. I definitely would like love the idea of having I love the idea of it being more like this, but I was learning so much, and I was the whole first prototype I solo developed, and so I had to learn so many things. Like I did voiceover for the tutorial droid in that. I wrote all the code. I set up the environment. I published my first indie game. Like it was just a lot of learning. And so I think this is a lot more. I think actually Travis is the reason this game is what it is. And I think we've worked together for so long. I always felt like Travis elevates my ideas. Like, so I think the first Galactic Bar Fight is the best I could have done by myself, but I think this is what I'm able to accomplish with Travis working with me.
Yeah, I joke with him, and I tell my wife all the time that John's the peanut butter to my jelly, because he programs some amazing stuff, and then he tells me an idea, then I can expand on it pretty damn well, and that's kind of where it came from. He showed me that first demo. He's like, yeah, I want to go in a bar and I want to shoot stuff, and I took that idea and I ran with it, and we have multiple levels in there. I kind of go to him with my crazy ideas as far as like, why don't we scrap menus in general? There's no menus really in the game. It's all, or we're trying to go menu free. We're trying to go all VR interactions, and he just had this simple idea. I want to go to a bar and I want to shoot things, and then I tried to take that idea of his thought. He wanted cyberpunk, and I said, great, we'll add the neons to it, and yeah, and we just kind of ran with it from there. So
Nice. Sounds like you guys have a nice like symbiosis relationship there.
yeah, he
Work
he
off each
mentioned
other.
we went to college together, and when we graduated, I kind of put out that call. Like, now this was 10 years ago on Facebook. I was like, hey, look, I want to make a game. Who wants to do it with me? And he jumped on immediately as well at that time, and he's like, I want to do this as well. And he introduced me to Unity, and we did like the 2D side scroller, and then John came to me with a 3D platformer game, and yeah, we just, him and I just work really good. Like I said, I have crazy ideas. He says I can do it, and I say great. And then I know in the back of his mind he's sitting there angry, but we've after now a decade, it's crazy. We joke about that. I'm married and have a kid now, and we still chat and make games together. So
It's awesome.
yeah.
He's having technical problems.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's over here like doing like hand to mouth signals. I'm like,
Oh, did he disappear entirely? All right.
yeah, I think he's lagging or something. That's cool.
Oh,
I went to game like animation school, and I couldn't
Okay.
really stick in touch with people after that. So I've always been jealous of people that have that couple of friends or something like that and get a project done. Because it was like when I graduated, it was like nobody talked,
Yeah.
no email. So it was like, well, that's weird. But
Him and I really were the only ones. There were a few of us that stayed in contact, but I think a lot of it comes, we all just started moving around, right?
Mhm.
I eventually, we both were in California. I eventually left California, and as technology kind of just kept advancing with how you could, transfer projects, before Unity has collab in there that you can now
Yeah.
use your commits and all that. Before we used Dropbox essentially to get stuff. Yeah, even though we kept moving further apart, it just really kept working out. There's really nothing too deep or crazy as far as
Yeah,
that
just
story goes, huh? Just
works out.
Yeah, I think it's always been I think it's shockingly easy to work with Travis. I gushed about you. I don't think I ever told you, but I was at this game industry Zoom thing, and I gushed about working with Travis. And I was like, have you ever worked with a designer who just like gets you to a room full of programmers? They're like, no, that sounds amazing. And I was like, yeah, it's a magical experience. And I've been fortunate to work with two game designers I really loved working with, and Travis is one of them. And so like, yeah, I think we've always been on the same wavelength, even if we don't like always see things the exact same way. I don't think I've ever felt like me and Travis don't understand each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we really get
Crazy.
that, like you said, that wavelength of understanding what we're thinking. He's like I said, he's like, I want to do this bar idea, and I'm like, what if we do this? And he's like, fuck yeah. He's like, that's exactly what I was thinking, and then it just
Right.
goes from there. So
Right.
did we lose Wookiee now?
Oh, I don't know. The app seems pretty touchy today. It's crazy.
Technology.
He's over there sliding around.
He's moonwalking.
Moonwalking. Yeah.
Nope, now he's back.
Billie Jean. Oh.
So,
Not my lover. What?
I meant to
Jessica.
start off with an apology to you, Johnny, because back in February, I just threw a tweet out there and said, hey, whoever wants to come talk to us, come talk to us. And you were one of the first ones to say something, and we messaged back and forth. And there were so many people messaging me. You were one of the unfortunate ones that kind of like fell through the cracks. And then like in August, I'm like, I missed some. I better go back. And I saw your message. I'm like, I feel like such an asshole. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. Please come talk to us.
Don't
Here we are,
apologize
like
at
6
all.
months later.
Yeah, don't apologize at all. I think I'm happy. I think I'm much happier because, like, even I don't think before this week we could even sent you a bill to like talk about the game or anything. So I think this is the perfect time. Yeah.
Yeah, you sent me a build, and like what you said, I played the initial App Lab release, which I think you still have out there. And yeah, there's quite a difference. It's
Good
pretty
time.
insane. So
Yeah, it's a 6 month. I've never rebuilt the same game, and so spending 6 months to do this has been it's taught me a lot. I think about system design and architecture and stuff, but also like I'm working with Travis, and then our friend Victor Villalobos is our 3D modeler, and like this feels better, right? Like I'm really proud of what I did on App Lab, but I think this is going to be a game that people really enjoy.
Speaking of which, what'd you think of it? You know, what's your initial opinion? You know, you can be as critically as you want. Like I said, we don't take any.
So, like I told Johnny and you guys were talking, I've played a lot of betas, a lot of alphas, so I understand the state of games. It's still like the App Lab release was a little on the rough side, but it was still fun. Like getting in there, you guys have melee and you have ranged weaponry, and it's fun. You do feel like you said Smash TV, which is a game I love from my childhood, and it does have that feel. So that's amazing.
But that's cool.
The new build was, like I said, night and day improvement.
Cool.
And you got rid of like you said, you're trying to go menuless and stuff, and I think you guys have done a really good job with that. So
yeah, very cool.
Yeah, you have a nice assortment of weapons and the power-ups, which if you're watching, there's a little blue shiny one right over here.
Yeah.
From the game. It's pretty neat.
I was wondering what that was. Like, is this a Spatial Ape like water bottle asset, or I couldn't tell what it was. Like, that's disappearing. What is this cool thing?
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very good to hear. Yeah, there's more to come. Even like you're gonna have hidden rooms in these levels, you know, and which have better weapons. And
speaking of weapons, I'll show the video people here in a second. The wall. I know you guys said not all these are weapons, but there's a wall of weapons in here. Let me spin the camera on for the.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was so confused. I was like, "What's that big wall of?" Oh, guns. Got it.
Well, that's the second most American thing you've ever seen.
There we go. Right.
just a complete arsenal.
Right.
Never have I seen so many guns in one place since like that Matrix scene when they all came in on the shopping racks or whatever.
Oh yeah. What was that? What do we need? Guns.
So what's you guys have like a count number in mind of what you want or have, or are you just kind of playing it by ear?
I think we have.
I don't know the exact count, but John and I, we did go through it. We went one by one through every single gun and determined the ones we wanted, because we wanted to try and keep it pretty balanced between pistols and machine guns and you know, bazookas and all that. So we mainly did it too. So at least from my standpoint, we stayed consistent. You know, if you saw one weapon in a level and there was not just the one weapon kind of thing, it was just kind of consistent throughout. So we lowered that pop, but like I said, I don't remember the final number. Do you, John? It was.
I think so. I'm thinking it has to be about 11 because I just implemented a sword, which I need to work on. But I think so. There are at least 3 melee weapons now, and then there's 8 projectiles. I think so. We have 11 altogether. I think.
Yeah.
I got my hands on a sword and the hammer that's sitting over there, and I got a lot of digital blood on those weapons.
That's a good time.
And I like how you guys, with the intro to the game, you kind of come into the bar and they're like, hey, you know, it's kind of a relaxing atmosphere, and there's some dancers, and it kind of goes over. There's different dancers and stuff. I'm like, I'm just waiting for like a fight to break out. I'm like, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna pull the trigger here?
Yeah, that was one of the ideas. That when John came to me, and I told him, I was like, you know, this is my first VR game, and I said, I feel like if we're doing VR, it's got to be like this. You got to be in the level. And he thought that was a different and unique idea. And from my knowledge, I don't think too many games have really done that. Like even our main menu, you're loaded in and you select a drink, and that's your save file that we're implementing. Like and currently the version, you go and you push the start button, but that's going to be gone. You will have to pick up like a pamphlet like thing to trigger the levels, and we hope that's unique. And it's cool to hear you say that, because that's the relaxing area, if you will, the breakdown where you can view achievements, your high scores, and you can play mini games and all that.
It was relaxing until that announcer robot said, hey, come check out your non-existent scores. I'm like, you bitch.
It just felt right. I was like, there has to be a little dig, right? Like, yeah, you haven't done shit. You know that, right? It's just, okay. I was also super inspired.
Oh,
my bad.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I was inspired by 80s. That was a part of I fell in love with that game last year, and so the hub space of that. And I think I love that kind of contrast. Like you go, or even like the Eurydice's area in Hades is my favorite, right? Because like chaotic, it might be right before a boss fight, but then there's this like just really peaceful grove. She's singing to you, and like you get some perks. And I was just like, I love that contrast. Right?
Yeah, and I love the way like you guys are saying like no menus and everything's like you starting by actually physical activities, and I think that is awesome.
I was just going to say,
it's VR, and you can do it.
Maybe instead of using like a pamphlet to start the level, can't you just have like a gun on the thing next to the drink and just like
So that's
blast the bartender and then that's it?
You see, you're getting in my head there, Wookie. That was actually something I was going to talk about in our dev meeting tomorrow. Is how do we want to trigger the levels now? I was going to say maybe we do a gun or a bottle, because I can't remember the gentleman's name, but we talked with another guy and he said the same thing. He's like, what if you picked up a drink and like hit an enemy with it? And I've been thinking about that, and I think that'd be really great. Yeah, to implement. You grab the drink, and that's how you start it. So
yeah, just like any hostile action will start the level. And you
yeah,
what you're doing, and just be like, broken bottle.
Yep.
Yeah, because like I said, you start in the bar, and everyone's just chill and drinking, and the dancers are going. If you like just grab the bottle and broke it on something, and went after a guy, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah, there's like
definitely.
a crowd of people dancing. I'd be the guy like, okay, just chuck the bottle as high in the air and see where it hits, and then
Right.
run and get a gun while it's flying, and just be like, come on.
Right.
Is it? I haven't tried the demo, and I always love that stuff where like getting rid of the menus. But is it a weird transition when you just like load into a 3D space? Because Spatial Apes is in beta and stuff like that, and I never know where my camera's going to pop in. But sometimes I'm like, and it's a little disorienting, even though I know where I'm going. I've been in here before, but I'm like, where am I now? Where's my booth?
I've been.
Oh, go ahead, John. Go ahead, man.
I've been trying to like. So I'm really into faders, like when any kind of like dramatic scene change or anything. So like I've been trying to, for this demo, I tried to get all the faders hooked in. And so basically like anytime you change scenes and stuff, I just want to kind of like have everything fade to black, and then it opens back up. You're in a new space, right? Because I hate when I get disoriented like that. I know for a while Travis and me had to suffer because it would just pop you into a new scene, and it's like that just is kind of disorienting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a very interesting, like you said, design dilemma I was trying to figure out when we came up with that, because you're right. When you just drop into a level, how do you explain it to the player? And then John kind of has a current setup right now where when you select your save file, he has the controller, the Oculus controllers that spin and tell you the controls for the time being, but we'll probably have to rethink that. But
for sure.
Yeah, like it's exactly right. That's currently kind of what we're trying to think about, is how do we go about expressing that to the player that this is it. You're in the game, right?
I think you guys, you have like your own little like, I don't know, dorm room, like with your bed and bathroom and stuff. If you kind of like woke up and your bed, if you're laying down, like your eyes fade open and then the bed tilts up and then you just walk, that would be pretty
I like that.
Well, it's like we were talking about, I think, on the last little dev roundtable, too. I love that when games like kind of do this stuff and you just got to figure it out. But we were talking, I think it was like a Town Tale. Yeah, I think it was Town Tale. And I kind of went off like designing the character. And in the best of times when PG and I are starting like a new RPG or an MMO launches, it's like, I'll see you next weekend because it'll be 3 days before I get a character. But load it in fully expecting to spend 3 hours if it's got a good character creator, which sounds kind of fun. But it took me 3 hours to figure out how to like use all the options. Like there's an actual knob on a slider to like change stuff, but like it didn't really know it was there while I was trying to figure stuff out. So people go a little too creative, but unless you have some visual, like in 2D drawings, line weighting makes a lot of sense. Like that's how your brain kind of, you draw the eyes. I don't think anybody's got time to do like, without making it like a neon green knob, like this is a knob. Like how do you handle like that? Like you said, telling the player that this is what you're trying to get them to do without a giant like a Borderlands style, like pausing the thing in giant text and like, this is what you're looking at, player, you dummy. How do you challenge? How do you handle that challenge?
We'll figure that one out. Like I said, we got when you go to the hub, we're gonna have stuff to do. We're gonna have shit to do in there, but we don't want to make it overtly obvious, like we said, we have mini games you can play. Like, so we're, at least in my mind, wrestling, do we just put like the little glowing light to like, hey, pay attention here?
Right.
Or do we make it a little more subtle, like you said, so people can experience in VR and find it themselves? Because I agree, Wookie, that's a great thing to do. Like when you experience it yourself, like, oh fuck, that's pretty awesome. If you do this and this, I can pick that up, and
it can extend like the event and the enjoyment out so much, where it's just like, instead of just me reading a guide or watching YouTube and then 5 minutes of the gameplay, I've figured it all out. It's like,
exactly.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny if you weren't really, you're just in the bar hanging out and things are happening, and the longer you wait to start something, like more crowded it gets, and then you bump into someone organically, and that starts the fight.
It's like a timer. Like 5 minutes goes by, and like the big guy with his ladies in there and spilling a drink on them or something really funny.
Yeah, I think we actually did think about that one too, including a timer for if you don't engage quick enough. But yeah,
somebody comes up and pushes you and speaks
Yeah, I know. For when I was developing the first prototype, I had like a guy I was mentoring, and he it was interesting. He was really reluctant. Like, he didn't want to start shit with, like, he wanted things to happen and he had to respond. And so it was really kind of an interesting just design scenario. Like, okay, how do I make an environment where the aggressive people like me can pick up a bottle and bash it against someone's head, right? But the person who wants to be passive can, absolutely. And the person who wants to be more passive can just like hang out and then like let the action happen and then respond to it, right? And so I think that'd be a fun thing to play with. I definitely think like for level 2, that'd probably be a really good thing to kind of explore.
Because like, I'm the kind of person, it all depends. Like, I could warp into a game and not know what's going on. It would be fine. Sometimes I warp into a game and I don't know what's going on and I get irate. I don't know what the difference is. But like, if you have enough stuff in the level where I get like something piques my interest, I might be looking behind tables and just checking out the detail and kind of forget. And then I'll, like 40 minutes later, I might look up and be like, what am I doing? Like, literally nothing's happened in the game. Like, I'd be kind of like, what the hell? I kind of disoriented that way. Like, I would do it to myself.
Right.
Like, I went an hour in without even starting the game. That would be me. Like, whoops. Yeah. I love the whole idea of the mechanic too. I don't know if I mentioned it maybe in the round table too. Like, when I was a kid, when I saw Windows, I'm like, I want to make like some sort of private eye office where that's your whole file and operating system. And you got to like click on stuff. But then I never really got around to doing it because it was like, that would be incredibly annoying when you got to find that file you need to print. And you're like, is it a real desk drawer or in a filing cabinet? It's like real life. And then you just throw the C out the window.
Right. Yeah, it's a tricky
What's your guys' kind of like goal for launch, or like to have the game complete? Do you have a roadmap or anything, or?
Right. I think the reason I scheduled this meeting, I think we were hoping that this week would be the week we launch, but I think just realistically, the way the past 2 years have worked, I don't think I've done a single thing that was on time, like in 2 years. And so, I think, it's not working out. But I think we're all really happy with where the game is. It's just, I think we do believe it needs more time in the oven. So, we're going to keep working on it. And in about a month, we're going to kind of make the call. Either we're going to release, late this year or we're going to release early next year. And so, we have like some like legal stuff we're trying to take care of, and so just trying to make sure all the pieces align before we give it to the world, I guess.
Yeah, kind of go off on that too, like a little sneak peek. What we're hoping to do is the early access rollout. We're going to start kind of like the Minecraft thing, where it's going to be cheap. Once we settle on a price, it'll be cheap, and then once you buy it at that low cost, you'll have it forever, and you'll get all the continuing updates. Or if you can wait till next year to buy it, then it'll be full price, but it'll be a completed game. So typical Steam early access stuff like that is what we're looking at doing. Like John said, timelines are pretty tough. We all have, the three of us, John, me, and Victor, we all have jobs, and this is currently the side project. This isn't the main gig, so we kind of do it in between when we can with life and all that. So that's why kind of things get a little stuck with dates as far as when we'd like to have it out, but we're slowly getting there. Like you said, as we get to more complete build that's fully play, the gameplay loop is there. You get in the high school, you're getting in, you're getting out, you're dying, all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah.
Has the App Lab release, do you think, helped or hindered your progress?
Man, I think it stresses me out, if I'm honest, right? Like, I think, so the good news is, like, I think this week we hit 11,000 downloads and 9,000 unique users, which,
Nice.
I tell people all the time, like, if 200 people would have played this, I would have been ecstatic, right? I honestly can't conceive thousands sometimes. Like, it's such a ridiculous number. And, like, for the game I put out, it's even more unbelievable because, like you said, it's a little bit rough around the edges. And it was more of a learning experience. But so
because you had a really nice mix of feedback just in the reviews.
Right.
There were some really nice ones and some really harsh ones, but there was a good overall like mix of it, so it was kind of neat.
Yeah, it's and for what it's worth, like I will say, even the worst comments, like there's one YouTube video that like tears it apart. I think they all have served as like really good pillars, like because I think I would hope that the grabbing stuff was a lot easier than it was in the previous version, right?
It was.
Drop objects, right? And I think like those are things like I hadn't even considered when I was testing and building this game the whole time. What if somebody dropped something, right? Such a simple thing. And in a fast-paced action game, right, that derails the whole experience, but I wasn't aware, right? And so it's been really valuable to have all that feedback, even if it's not positive. And, definitely I had a few nights I had to go lick my wounds. I think it's making this update a much better game altogether. Some of them talked about weapon variety. So I was like, well, I guess I got to go figure out how to make a weapon system. And that was one of the first things we started with. And I think, making the game have more longevity in terms of challenges and stuff. So, I think all of that feedback, whether good or bad, I think it has all been very valuable in like making this a better game. And I'm super excited. Like once we finish, like I think I can rest happy, even if like if this was our one update for Galactic Bar Fight, I think this next update I would be happy to say like if that's the game, then that's the game.
You mentioned like dropping items. I had a funny scenario when I was playing yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going crazy, so I was not really aiming. The bullet count was kind of low, so I used up every weapon I could see, and I had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy chasing me, so I was just running around a table. I'm like, something's gonna spawn, and like a weapon's gonna pop up. And then another wave of guys popped up, so I had like 10 guys chasing me around a table. I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
To chop them and
right. I was going to mention that in a meeting tomorrow too. I was like, yeah, we probably need to figure out a way to have things respawn, or like figure out a way to I guess the yellow power up, it like restocks all the ammo on the guns in the level, but like again, that's stuff we didn't really communicate. So we're working on that part. Yeah.
I was looking for an empty bottle just to go add some more.
Oh, for sure.
we're hoping, one of the ideas we're hoping is if it could come in would be with you grab the gun, you're out of ammo, we want to be able to throw that, and we want that to also be considered a weapon at some point. Well, that's been in the design document, but John's been very much other stuff to really get kind of the physics probably set up for that one. But that short we like thought about is
or like a server with a tray of stuff come out. And
we talked about that.
And then PJ have something and like throw the dish and like frisbee somebody's head off.
Oh, I love that. The idea of throwing the dish. And Gorn's another game that really inspired me. And I love in Gorn, you could beat people to death with anything, right? And so I want like Gorn levels. Hey, Robert, that's the guy.
I'm here to throw my love at you.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate the love.
All of you. You're all great.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
But
throw all the bottles on the tray. And then use the tray as like a shield and like hit him with it and then block stuff and then hit him with it until it pops up. That'd be crazy.
I love it. Yeah. Because I think that's the fun stuff, right? Like, I think Gorn inspired me, kind of like Smash TV. I just love like the idea you're in a room, you don't have many options. Like, how am I going to get out of this room alive? Right?
Creative, That'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your personal favorite thing about the game?
Oh man, I'm really proud of the weapon system, honestly. Like, and I tried to make it. I wanted to make a weapon system that I could give to Travis and go, Travis, make weapons, right? And so it's a really generic system. Like the difference between a shotgun and a assault rifle or a bazooka is like there's values. So there's this big thing called a weapon database, and basically Travis can go in, change the values, and make whatever kind of gun he wants, right? So he can make a pistol, and so I'm really proud of making that, and I think it makes it more exciting for the to have like all sorts of tools of destruction, right? Like I like the idea of like a playground of destruction. And so to me, I think that's the part I'm most excited about.
Nice.
We should make like a promo video. I always have ideas for like promo videos and quick clips that'll never actually happen. But like PJ's running up to the bar away from these 10 guys, and one of us, me, like pops up and like grabs the whole sink from the bar and just clocks him with it.
Oh,
like,
I love that.
Bonk.
If we had money, I would love to pay a CG team to render that. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about the game, Travis? Or is there anything that speaks to you about it?
Oh, me. Honestly, it's really just the whole thing. Like as lame as it sounds, I really am excited. Like the idea that we have here. Like like I mentioned, this is my first VR game, so designing it and. What I feel we're doing is very unique, and I would really like to hear if people have done it already. But I played like the Iron Man game in VR, and I played Beat Saber, but I haven't seen really someone do what we're kind of doing, and it's on the small scale, so it's not AAA. But but I just think it's great, and like I said, the progress we're making on it, and it's. Like I said, maybe I'm biased since I stare at it every day, but yeah, I'm really liking where it's going.
Fair.
That AAA thing is actually great because, like, when you're in VR, we've mentioned it a bunch of episodes and all sorts of stuff. It's like the more, whatever, creative constraints and stuff, the more like action and fun. You don't really realize you're in. Some games have like Nintendo 64 graphics. You just forget about it because it's fun.
You're right.
I wish more games would just focus on make it fun with like no shading, just blocks, and it's like the gameplay is fun, and then put some as much as the head.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. That's a great way to definitely.
I mean, it looks like a black. PG and I sometimes go head to head in these games, and some, I'd like, it's not my style. But if it's just knock down, drag out craziness, it doesn't even matter if I can't pick because we used to play Pavlov on like through Steam.
Oh, for sure.
Steam VR, there was something weird with the floor, and you had to like enable advanced stuff to reset the floor. I would drop. We would do like all handguns, so it's just like a 5-round like Magnum, and I'd drop it every time trying to reload the thing, and I can't pick it up. I'm clawing at my real floor because it's like 3 inches lower, and I'm like screaming my ass off. It doesn't matter. It's fun. It just walks up and and just blows my head off.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's funny.
The AAA games are actually, the AAA companies, I think, are at a disadvantage because they're going to try to shove all it. And it's like, well, Call of Duty work here. Like, there's got to be some charm to it.
Right. Even like, I'm like excited to see Medal of Honor, but like, so I heard it's going to be 75 gigs or so, like something ridiculous, right? Like, and I was like, what our build is like, it was 500 when we had like a light map issue. It's 300 right now. Yeah. And like, I'm like, how would, that's our game times over 100, right? That's a lot of data. Like,
this is
it won't even fit on the first Quest 2 because of the size.
Right.
Yeah, they were like their 64 megabyte cap, and like, what is up with that crap? Because like No Man's Sky is not a very big game because it's procedurals. It's all that's everything generated. Hand model is generated by math, and it's like 6 gigs, something like that. That's not even much.
Right.
75 gigs.
Yeah.
Like I get irate when you have like a GTA patch on the GTA 5 on the Xbox, and then I go look at the storage, and it's like 110 or whatever it's up to, 100 gigs, and it's.
Isn't Call of Duty, aren't they like pushing like 300 gigs alone right now on consoles, if I'm not mistaken? Like I always see them. As I say, I just see the memes online. Like, I gotta buy a new drive. Sorry, go ahead.
I just on the newest generation, yeah, because the textures and the lighting, like it's a huge file.
Yeah. I think when ours is all said and done, honestly, John, when we have all the levels in and all the correct like art assets, we'll probably barely break a gig, if 2 gigs.
Right.
Max, I think.
Yeah, I would
not
think
a large
so,
game at all.
Right.
But there's a new Call of Duty I saw for the Xbox coming out in November, and it has like World War II, and I was like, ooh, might be one of, I got to caution myself because, Battlefield and
Right.
Call of Duty games, we get like a couple people and you play it on one weekend and it's gone. But I'm like, now that you say that, I'm like, that game did look pretty.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to go see what the file size is. It's like,
Oh,
Right.
all them 4K graphics now.
Right.
I don't have a 4K TV. I'm like,
Right. I will say, I think that is a good segue. I think, like, pie in the sky, I'm overly ambitious anyway, but I think it would be amazing to release this on the PS5, right? Don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I think we'd all would be super excited about that possibility.
just the PS5 VR setup?
Yeah, especially, and I'm excited about the like orb controllers the PSVR 2 is going to have, and I just think that's going to be really cool, and I can only imagine the haptic feedback for that. I think like that would be like the dream scenario to release this on the PS5. Mm-hmm.
It's definitely, with the cyberpunk look, when it's the neon lights and stuff, it's pretty catchy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
for sure.
So that's we're trying to. Yeah, John said I want this neon cyberpunky look, so that's what we're doing with this first level here, and all the levels. So since it's a galaxy game, it's Galactic Bar Fight. Each level is a different theme of a different planet, and obviously us being all, I imagine, people that play games, we kept it very relatively obvious. Like there's going to be a desert level, which is, if you imagine, is going to be similar to Tatooine. John's like, I want to do a Doom level, like similar from Doom. So we got
Are you going to be
Hellscape.
in like the Mos Eisley bar kind of a thing, like a Doom?
Exactly,
like a
but we're
desert
obviously not going to take copyright, so we might call it
Mos Eisley bar. Sorry,
Right.
but yeah, that's hopefully what we'll go for. Is people will go to these areas like, oh, this shit looks familiar, and so yeah.
Right.
Nice.
just grab one of those.
How many
burping
total
frogs and-
areas or maps?
I think we planned out 4, right? I think
We are shooting for 5. That's the final goal. But this, when we first launch, we're only going to have the 1 level currently. But we hope to. My goal is each level will get more complex. So this first level is the typical easy square location. You're going to have your little, like I said, features and hidden things in there. And then the next level will be bigger. We're going to have an outside area, bathrooms, and it's going to be a much larger level. Then the third level, we're going to do like layers. So there's going to be multiple stories to go through. So the goal is obviously to teach the player as they go through how, different levels will play out and where, so they'll kind of get the idea of where to search for guns and how things work. But yeah, right now, shooting for about 5 levels at release. But for this first launch, we're just going to have this 1 level here. But even then, like I mentioned, this level is not complete. This is all debug assets that are just set up to play in. Once our 3D artist, Victor, once he gets to this one, because he's still working on the hub, then, they'll look much prettier.
Yeah. I love how you guys have right now you click either stick down and you'll pop up ammo and health count instead of just having it. Whoop, I warped. Instead of just having it like on the screen like a HUD, which is not awesome in VR half the time.
Right. Yeah.
That was a conversation, wasn't it, man? That was a good debate we had.
Right. Yeah. It's so tough, right? Like, because it's like screen real estate is it's valuable in VR, right? And so it's like, okay, how do we give them the information they need, but like voluntarily, right? You can open it, you can close it as you want. So yeah, that was a discussion. Yeah.
We thought of like, how do we portray it on the hands? Maybe we do like a soft hue, soft glow to say greens are alive, red you're dead, and maybe the guns, like, will have the ammo ticker. So if you're holding the gun, we've kind of put next to it. I don't know if you guys have played Borderlands 3. Some guns kind of have like a little hologram looking ammo counter. And we thought, what if we did that? And we kind of melded those into what John has implemented here, where he's like, why don't we just not display it, but we click it and you can view it quickly so it doesn't obstruct your vision, but you could clearly see how much ammo I got, how much life do I have. And yeah, that was kind of the compromise. So it's the same thing. Good to hear you're enjoying that kind of setup right now. But
I thought it was broke because every time I clicked it, I had 0 ammo and 1 heart, but that was just
For what it's worth, like I kind of upped the difficulty for this build. I was like, okay, it's been really easy up until this point. So I was like, okay, let me up the enemy count, make them more aggressive. I might have overdid it for what it's worth.
Yeah,
like I might have.
You're used to
it. I mean, I lose plenty too, so don't even. Yeah, yeah.
Has there ever been a game where they don't give you an ammo count? Like realistically, you have a 6-shooter and you got to remember.
Yeah, there's a couple.
It always seems interesting, but I always think that would be really aggravating. Too.
It's fun for like the first bit, and then you're like, that's annoying as hell.
I feel like more like, what is it? I think Ghost of Tsushima and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they have the whole like immersion mode where it's there's no HUD indicators. It's you just go because the wind tells you to go there. Or I think Assassin's Creed is the same thing. You just kind of go to some area because they say we have to go east, and you go east. So I feel like those games are probably the better, more recent ones that come to mind as far as the whole like you can't, you have no HUD interaction.
Like the Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I believe this is one of the modes. They just added like immersion mode to that. So like all the RPG elements they've stolen from Assassin's Creed, brought them over. Like you can turn them off.
Yeah.
You can set it up like a whole bunch of difficulty options, taking away HUD elements. But I think there's one where if like you reload, you just lose the ammo that's still in the clip that most games don't do.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I want to try it, but I don't play that game that often. And I have to like spend 30 minutes getting used to the game again and I'll be out of ammo. Like,
right.
You're gonna get all those OCD guys who are like, oh, I fired a shot, I gotta reload my whole clip, but I just
Yeah, I used to like figure out tips for people. We'd be playing, I don't know, Halo or one of the Rainbow Sixes. I'm like, guys, if you reload before you're empty or on that last bullet, there's still one in the chamber. Because if you have a clip of 30 and you reload when you're empty, it'll sock one in the chamber and you've only got 29. But you got 31. And I was like, God, I need a life. Like one more bullet. Who gives a shit? Shut up, a Wookiee.
Well, when you can't hit shit like that extra bullet. I'm just kidding.
Oh man,
slinging mud over here.
So you two are brothers. That's
Yes.
a clear sibling comment. That's a clear.
We've said it to a few devs on here. Like, we need a game with feedback where we can just like slap and punch each other because
of course.
Wookiee's moved away and he's not. He's been gone. Like we visit each other when we can, but it's like what, over 20 years.
Yeah,
very
Almost.
different locations.
Seniors.
Missed that interaction and slapping each other and punching each other.
Of course.
Not to make
Fighter, someone would always get knocked on the floor. Like.
Yeah, and you playing Mario Kart and stuff like that. But I kind of wish not to. It's going to make it weird though. But Japan has a.
Oh, well, yeah, that made it really weird. Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Made it really weird. Sorry, I decided to say, hey, you want to allow the connection to your PC? It just popped up. Like Japan has those weird robots that people can have physical contact from a remote, but I just want like a robot to sit on your couch that just slaps you with something. So everyone in the room here playing like GoldenEye, and then you can like slap PJ and it will recognize that, and actually something will hit him with like a sock in real life, so you just get hit. And that's my immersion, like reality immersion mode. You just have 4 of those robots in your house.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that cost?
It reminds me whenever I see my little sister, I go back home. I had to sit on her for some reason. She'll be sitting there enjoying her life peacefully, and I just had to kind of just throw myself on top of her. It's like, oh yeah, hey, I love you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And you guys are grown up, and she's older, and you're older, and like 200 pounds, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And she's got, I don't know, pumpkin pie from like a holiday. Just
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Of course.
little people's elbow.
Right? Oh, of course. You got to.
Got a couple more questions though. We haven't talked about some enemies.
Okay.
You're saying are even the enemies like placeholder things, or are those actual designs that we?
Yeah, that one's kind of up to debate. So John got those from the asset store. I personally kind of would like more kind of ones done for the game. I mean, obviously they're not changing anytime soon, and they work great. They're great models. So we'll kind of see where we go from there. But
right. I think that was one of, if we had won the Oculus Launchpad grant, that was like the first thing I think we kind of agreed we would want to have like put money into first. Didn't get the grant. That was a rough day. But yeah, so I totally agree with Travis. Like I'm happy with them if that's like what ships, like if that's what we stick with. But I do think it would be great to have like custom aliens for our game specifically.
Yeah, it would be really rough, but like that fit the motif of each level.
Right.
Like the desert people have like tubes and rags and stuff.
Right.
Like, that's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the weapon testing area, and you can go in there and just like slice people in half or cut their...
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was prototyping stuff and I was just welling on stuff, and my friend was like, "That's like a good de-stressor," and I was like, "Yeah, it is, isn't it? We should, you know what? We should have an area where that's just people. You know, you had a rough day, just well on this robot for a while." You know?
If it was me, I'd have like them different poses. If it wasn't just robots, or if it was robots, have like their eyeballs following you every once in a while. Be like, "Oh God, no, please!" And then like make the player feel really bad about like, what did you just say as you're cutting them in half. Like, is that thing talking?
Oh. I love it.
Please, no.
Oh, pretty good.
Is this any multiplayer plans, or is it strictly going to be one player?
Oh, strictly single player for right now.
Yeah.
I have that's one thing John and I joke about. I don't know about him, but I have no networking programming experience. You know, I can program a mean single player game with John. But networking is where it's like, I mean, I got to go get the book open and start reading and figure that one out. So. But currently, oh, go ahead. I was just like, currently we don't have really anything in the works from my standpoint, but I don't know John's future plans.
No, I totally agree. And I think I've worked on a few multiplayer games before, and it's cool, right? I think for our team size and what we're trying to do, I don't see it happening right now. But if we got some money, I'd love to invest in that. I would love to make leaderboards. I think if we don't have like a full multiplayer experience, I'd love to have like a score challenge and a leaderboard so people could.
Yeah.
That's with VR. It's so tricky with multiplayer because games, even like, even if it was like the most popular VR game, like there's a chance like online's going to be dead. You could just be cut
that's true.
Yeah.
So it's kind of scary, I'm sure, from you guys' perspective. Like, is it worth the time, money? That'd be fun. But
yeah, that's a fantastic point, because that actually reminded me of that. What is it? The PSVR one, Riggs, mech, right? Riggs,
oh yeah, the mech one. Yeah,
that one was the same thing. That was an online one as well, and I remember reading about that one died pretty quickly because no one really wanted to play. I guess that type of multiplayer.
It's a bummer, dude. Because it was a really cool game, right? Like it felt like you were in a mech, so it's a bummer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
and like a lot of games it's good just throw the helmet on, and then when you got half an hour, just jump in, get done, and go on about your day.
One day it'll be Ready Player One, right? You just kind of shoo.
Yep. Hop on your treadmill and everything. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean to be the bearer. I have to drop off though early. I have a little daughter that needs to get a bath, so I apologize. But it was very nice chatting with you guys, PJ, Wookie.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, if I'd love to come back if we have us. John, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. So like I said, I hate to be that guy, but yeah.
Come here, wash
No
my
worries.
back. Wash my back.
Yeah, there we go. So thank you guys again. Like I said, it was great chatting with you. I just unfortunately, like I said, I have to go. But yes, man, so maybe we can do this again if you guys would like to.
Yeah.
When we launch.
Yeah,
or something.
anytime.
Yeah, launch or whatever.
Yeah,
For sure.
Well, take it easy, guys.
Yeah. Have a good night, Travis.
Ciao.
And now comes the Exorcist thing, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Oh,
Yeah.
clean.
Not
Shout out
quite.
clean.
Right? Oh man. Mm-hmm.
Well, before we wrap up, John, is there anything we didn't get to that you wanted to talk about or share?
Man, I mean, I guess just say thank you, right? Like I do, like the game is a little bit rough around the edges, and I'm so blown away by the amount of support I've gotten, from the comments, from YouTube videos. I never expected. There's like random storefronts in other countries that like have ripped APKs of the game. Even I consider that support. I've seen Reddit threads.
Wow.
And so, I grew up a typical gamer kid. And so like to think of something and make it and then have people respond to it is like, that is in its own reward in a way. So, even having these chances to talk to people on podcasts about a game I'm working on, right? Like I don't take it for granted. Like this is my dream, right? And so I feel so fortunate to be in this position. Yeah, so thank you all.
Oh no, you're like
Oh,
we
fun for
joke
us.
about you on the round table chats with the other devs, and everyone. You're the nice guy,
I'll take it. I had somebody tell me once I was the good cop in like a community, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." All right.
You haven't talked to my sister.
Is she good cop or bad cop?
I meant like your sister. That
Oh,
jump
well,
on.
yeah.
She would have a different story.
Absolutely.
Good cop
Absolutely.
my ass.
Right. Well, that's love though. It's like loving bad cop.
Yeah, she didn't count. It's family.
Yeah, of course, right? Yeah.
Their praise or hate doesn't count.
Well, yeah, of course.
Back when he said 9,000 individual downloaders with 11,000 downloaders, that is kind of hard to get your mind around because
I know, right?
my friend, there's 4 of us. That's like 2,500 times this table.
Right?
I can't do it.
Yeah. Even when I hit 7,000, my friend was like, "Yeah, that's like a line out of the convention center," and I was like, "Wow, that's like I can't process that, right? Like it's yeah." Mm-hmm. So,
Crazy.
I'm super thankful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can't wait to see you guys' final build. Like even both builds, if good and bad, rough, not like I can tell fun, even if it's like you can just tell it's there. So I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Like I had fun with it. Like I said, as its
That's
current form.
awesome.
Like you said, if it released that way, god damn it,
Warping.
warping
Yeah,
around.
you guys said you're like just using debug assets and stuff, and if it's fun, it doesn't matter. But if you add in your own work and bring the theme together, that's just gravy, I guess, because it's already was fun,
Yeah, if you check out our TikTok, it's like Weird Kid Studios, I think, or at Weird Kid Studios 12. I could post it or something, but like the very first videos I posted were basically I'm shooting like these Oculus blocks, and there's like little spheres coming out, and that was the beginning of the weapon system, right? And like it was like you said, right? It wasn't anything. There's no theme. There's no cohesiveness. It was just like, so can I shoot a gun and make it feel good? Okay, I like this. And then that was how we got to this point. So, yeah.
Nice. And anyone listening or watching this, there'll be in the show notes, as always, links to everything. So look at it, click it, and be entertained.
Go find a Russian site with a hacked APK and roll
Hey,
the
there we
dice.
go.
That's when you know you made it, man. I think you could just call it a day now.
Well, thank you. I'll just hang up the controllers and hang up Unity, and we had a good run, boys.
Even like the Game of Thrones showrunners early on, when it was, before it went to shit, I guess. They were, we're the most pirated show of all time, and they're like, cock of the walk for that. I'm like, well, okay.
Okay.
Should I add to that? Like,
right.
should I go pirate it and fluff your numbers, or should I pay you?
Right.
If you're being stolen from, you must have some sort of market share.
Right.
Stealing it.
I love that perception.
You don't steal non-valuable stuff, right? I guess.
Well, I guess so. That's fair. That's good. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm gonna be laughing about that the rest of the night.
About what?
Well, for those listening and watching that weren't in VR with us, you missed out, because I'll do a tour at the end when we're done talking of all the assets, and even outside our booth, we, the Spatial Ape guys had you on in the space before a couple weeks ago, and you have one of those neat little, I don't know what the name is, but it's a cube, and you step into the cube, and the power of VR makes that cube like you're kind of in your game, and it's pretty amazing. I'll take a quick video of all that.
Yeah, please do. Please.
Got to get the guns at the top.
Yeah, this wall of guns, I think it's hilarious. What a hilarious accident. I think that's my favorite.
I want to climb them ladder, get to the top.
Right, of course. Right. Oh, man.
There goes Wookie.
Up. He's almost about halfway. About halfway.
Are these guns from your game though? Like,
yeah, I purchased it from the asset store. I think my favorite one are these crossbow-looking ones. There's we call it the slash bow, and basically you shoot this like razor wisp of wind, and it slices the enemies. I think that's probably my favorite one. I think it's just so satisfying seeing like an enemy literally separate. Pretty cool.
Back in the days when you wish they would separate and they really just didn't.
Right.
And now everything explodes.
Right.
That's awesome.
I recognize 3 or 4 of these.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Unfortunately, they all come in that one texture that doesn't fit like 90% of them. But yeah.
I'll move the camera. Go look at this hammer. That was a fun tool in the game here.
I thought the hammer was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the right scale for the game? Because this handle is like...
Yeah, it's pretty big, yeah. And I think it kind of has to be, because like create enough distance between you and like the enemies, right? Otherwise they're too close, right? And
right.
So I was telling PJ and Travis, like I was thinking of Lord of the Rings. There's a scene where Sauron has his mace and he's just welling on people and they're flying in the sky. And I was like, I want to recreate that. That would be so cool.
Rad. I like the circuit board kind of.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm super happy with all these assets and stuff. Would love custom art, but like I think all of this does more than does the job.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, man, we're gonna do our wrap up audio here, and and then we can talk and hang out afterward. But thanks everyone for hanging out, listening, and watching. Again, Johnny J from Weird Kid Studios talking about his game Galactic Bar Fight. You can grab the App Lab build for free. There'll be a link in the show notes if you want to check it out. Otherwise, there'll be video links and all that fun stuff. But can't wait to, like I said, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with and finish with and launch. And right now, it's as is. It's fun. It's a good time, and you get in a fight in a bar. So I don't go to bars, so it's the power of VR again. I get to go somewhere I normally wouldn't.
There we go. Right.
But thanks again, everyone. This was episode. Oh, I bumped the camera. Look at him go. Podcast. Thanks for listening.
You.
He's PJ. I'm Wookie. That's Johnny. See you next time.